Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've never been so happy to be wrong. Once again, you already know what it is. You already know where you've reached. The number one upcoming professional wrestling podcast anywhere in the world. This is Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. My name is Sean Hubbard. Just off the heels of appearing on Everything Pro Wrestling with Conrad and Derek as we all reviewed AEW All In. What a night of professional wrestling. This is what wrestling is supposed to be all about. The competition, the back and forth. AEW put on, WWE kind of put on, but either way, what a fantastic day of professional wrestling. AEW definitely won the weekend, won the night, the whole 9 yards. But we are here right now to talk about Saturday night's main event, just concluded about 20 minutes ago, live on NBC and Peacock. Once again, my name is Sean Hubbard. This is Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. Make sure you check out all the episodes of HUBBanomics as well as Clash of the Podcast with my tag team partner, the one and only Conrad Cushman, each and every Monday night at 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. So here we go. This originally was supposed to be a watch-along for Gunther versus Goldberg. However, with AEW going 6 hours, 6 entertaining 8 hours, but 6 entertaining long hours nonetheless, but it was a tremendous show. With them going as long as they did and having to appear on my good friend Conrad's post show for AEW, this thing kind of ran crazy. So I had to push this thing back and do a live reaction show, but I'm happy you guys are here. The chat's already had people in it. We appreciate Clown 13Z4 Tweezy being in the building saying good evening, everyone. The only Vinny we like saying happy Saturday and God bless. God bless you too. Speculating on Roman Reigns' return possibly being altered by Seth Rollins' injury. That's a good possibility. We're going to talk about that. And obviously my tag team partner Conrad's in the building. I appreciate you, my brother. Listen, man, tonight was crazy. Tonight was crazy between AEW and Saturday night's main event. Listen, let's start off with the way we began the evening on WWE, which was Randy Orton against Drew McIntyre. We knew it was going to be a hard-hitting affair. We knew it was going to be in your face, not a lot of hammerlocks, not a lot of go-behinds. It was a hard-hitting, heavy-hitter type affair. And Randy Orton came out on top due to a distraction from Logan Paul and Jelly Roll getting to it on the outside of the ring. It was kind of a weird situation where Logan Paul got into Jelly Roll's face. Jelly Roll pushed him down. Drew McIntyre got distracted. RKO, you know the rest. And then in a really, really crazy twist of fate, Jelly Roll starts checking on Randy Orton. And out of nowhere, which was a big surprise for me, Drew McIntyre claymores Jelly Roll in the face. Unbelievable. I have to admit, it was pretty entertaining. I didn't think Jelly Roll would take that kind of a move. Well done by Drew McIntyre. He did not hurt Jelly Roll for real, but it was a good sell job. It was really well done. And we found out later in the evening that this is going to lead to a match, Jelly Roll and Randy Orton in a tag team match against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. Not completely thrilled about that announcement, but as it relates to tonight, I have to say that they all did pretty well. It was not a bad performance. It was not a bad show in Atlanta, Georgia State Farm Arena. Up next, we had a really, really interesting situation that took place that I really enjoyed. I can't believe I enjoyed this that much, but it was awesome. You had the cameras of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let me know if you guys saw this. The cameras of World Wrestling Entertainment going around. They highlighted the participants for tomorrow night's Evolution pay-per-view. They started off with Io Sky talking about how she will main event against Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. Then they scanned the camera and panned the camera to Rhea Ripley. And then they panned the camera to Jade Cargill as she's going to be going into a street fight tomorrow. Anything goes against Naomi. Naomi attacks Jade Cargill in the ringside area, knocks her over the guardrail, over the barricade. They're jumping all over each other. Naomi's jumping off tables. The security comes out. It's a full-fledged brawl. And then the SmackDown general manager, Nick Aldis, gets on the microphone and says, hey, since you guys can't be professional, since you guys can't wait till tomorrow night, all of a sudden, he announces that there's going to be a special referee that's going to officiate the Naomi versus Cargill match tomorrow night. And they play Bianca Belair's music, and Atlanta goes absolutely crazy. From the time Bianca Belair has left till coming back, you can tell the fans were very, very excited. Yes, Conrad, they announced that it's going to be a special referee, and that special referee is none other than Bianca Belair making her return from her hand injury. She is back, and she is going to be the special referee at Evolution in the no-holds-barred match at Evolution, Naomi versus Jade Cargill. I'm not going to lie. Not bad, WWE. Not bad. That particular decision, I'm not mad at. I have to agree with Deanna. Deanna saying, why is this not happening at SummerSlam? I agree. I think that would be a little bit better. But I think they wanted to add a little bit more sauce to this Evolution pay-per-view. This stream is not about Evolution, but I will give you guys a little bit of a nugget of information. I've been doing my research. They have shut down a lot of seating areas. I was talking to Conrad about this yesterday. They've shut down a lot of seating areas in the State Farm Arena for tomorrow night's show because of lack of ticket sales. Now, if you look online, you'll see the disclaimer that they're sending out to ticket holders. All right, I want you guys to pay very close attention to this. They're sending out disclaimers to ticket holders for the pay-per-view tomorrow night, Evolution, saying that they've been upgraded, that fans have been upgraded from their current seats to better seats. However, the truth of the matter is that WWE is closing off seating areas because of lack of ticket sales. So people who had upper deck seating will now be, I guess it is an upgraded to lower seats, but not just because of general purposes and kindness. It's because of lack of ticket sales for the pay-per-view. So that is something to consider. This is not working out in the way WWE wanted as it relates to ticket sales for Evolution. That's, you take that with a grain of salt, but that is kind of like the way it is. Vinny says that AEW went 6 hours on purpose. That is 100% fact. Delayed Grats, welcome, man. Appreciate you being here. Clown says, did you feel the same way when Bad Bunny had his match, or is your gripe more because it's a Big Four event? As it relates to Jelly Roll being in a tag match with Logan Paul, I'm not a big Logan Paul fan. I have nothing against Jelly Roll. I think he's a WWE fan like we all are, a wrestling fan like we all are. But yes, it's because it's a Big Four event. I think the Backlash situation is okay, that if you're referencing Bad Bunny, but I don't think a match of this caliber should be on a SummerSlam. SummerSlam, historically, guys, SummerSlam is the second longest running pay-per-view. I should say, actually, I think it's it's the third longest running because Survivor Series started in 87. SummerSlam started in 88. It's the third longest running pay-per-view in WWE history. I think there should be a little bit of lineage and respect for that show. I don't think a celebrity match is worthy, but hey, that's neither here nor there. That's just my opinion. BJ in the building, appreciate you being here. He says, I hated this show's format. 80 City. Hey, I hear you, brother. Yes, Conrad, special referee Bianca Belair is back. He's giving everybody love. Agreed, Deanna. Conrad responded to Delayed Grad saying, thank you again. No question about that. Delayed Grad says, no problem. BJ says, considering what happened on this show and weekend, I think WWE's, I guess you'll continue that. Deanna says, if there were stronger matches and more build, it might be better. I agree with that. Clown says, if they were smart, they would have offered to buy one, get one free if they got some Saturday Night Main Event tickets. That is a good point because Saturday Night Main Event seemed like they did pretty well with ticket sales. It looks like that arena was pretty filled tonight. BJ says, considering what happened at WWE shows, both on talent and ticket sales, I think their counter programming has come back to bite them. No question about that. Solid point, BJ. Delayed Grad says, SummerSlam should be a pure wrestling show, but I guess WWE doesn't really have those anymore. That's exactly my point, Delayed Grads. And I agree with you completely. That's exactly where I'm at with it. SummerSlam is a historically significant show. It should be a wrestling show, not a circus. So big ups to you for that. Everything Pro Wrestling, Conrad, my brother says, SummerSlam has always been treated as number 2 to me. Treated as number 2, no doubt. Third longest running, second treated. I agree. And especially lately because Survivor Series has been trash as it relates to the respect of the lineage. The War Games matches are cool, but we haven't seen elimination matches in a long time. You know, we've had kind of weird matches in between the War Games matches, the women's and the men's. So we'll see how it ends up being this year in San Diego. But War Games has already been announced. I don't know if they're going to add an elimination match to it. I think they should, but that's a bridge we'll cross when we get there. But anyway, so after the Naomi and Jade Cargill run-in, where Bianca was announced as the special guest referee for tomorrow night at Evolution, here comes Big Jim. Big Jim on his way for his first singles championship opportunity, his first singles championship, hopefully getting the job done against his brother Solo Sikoa, but that was not to be. Outside interference, the MFTs got involved. Unfortunately, Big Jim is still without his first singles title. I hope that changes very soon. Everybody knows that I started the Jey Uso bandwagon. Well, I'm telling you guys right now, I am starting the Jimmy Uso bandwagon. We need to get gold around Jimmy Uso's waist. Maybe not the World Heavyweight title, maybe not the WWE title, but the Intercontinental, United States, something in that ballpark. Jimmy Uso deserves that, and I hope that that comes to fruition, but it would not take place on this given evening, as Solo Sikoa would retain the United States Heavyweight Championship. After the match, the MFTs jumped all over Jimmy Uso. Here comes Jacob Fatu, who I think will definitely be a future world champion. He jumps all over everybody. He's clearing the ring, and that's how we went to commercial, leading into the next match of the night. Now, here's where things get really interesting, guys, and interesting in a very uncomfortable way. Seth freaking Rollins, the man who holds the Money in the Bank briefcase, he's facing LA Knight. Now, for all intents and purposes, I thought that there was no question that LA Knight would lose this match. I thought that Seth Rollins would be victorious, even though LA Knight is getting hot again. They've never really pulled the trigger on him, the figurative trigger on him. I don't know why, but this time they did. But the caveat about them pulling that trigger is the fact that during this match, Seth Rollins attempted a moonsault-like maneuver, lion salt type maneuver in the middle of the ring. He jumped off the ropes, did a full backflip, landed on his feet. When he landed on his foot, it looked like his knee buckled. Seth Rollins went down. The referee came over to Seth Rollins. The doctor came over to Seth Rollins. Now you got to understand, I'm not just a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling purist, and I also pay attention to the idiosyncrasies of the show. Now, we're talking about a 2-hour hard show, meaning that there is no wiggle room. There's no extra time on these type of shows on NBC and Peacock, right? So every second counts. Every single second counts. I don't believe this was part of the storyline. They made it so that Seth Rollins had the referee come over to him, the doctor come over to him. It was at least 5 minutes, maybe a little bit less, where Seth Rollins was being checked on by the referee, checked on by the doctor. And then from there, you can see that the camera starts to shift. The camera's exactly on LA Knight. They're not showing Seth Rollins as he's talking to the doctor. Seth Rollins, to his credit, makes it to his feet, takes the BFT, and LA Knight defeated Seth Rollins in 11 minutes and 37 seconds. So I'm concerned. And at this point, this really just threw my whole theory about Goldberg beating Gunther and then Seth cashing in. That went right out the window. And it also, as Vinny, the only Vinny we like, was talking about the possibility of Roman Reigns coming out, that went out the window too, if that was a thing. Because I knew when I saw Seth Rollins go down, I felt like it was a real legitimate injury. Now, we won't know until Monday, and there's a possibility he's not seriously injured, but we have to think about, wow, Vinny, right on the money with the terrible knee history. I agree. We have to think about the two significant injuries that come to mind for Seth Rollins. In 2014, or 2015, excuse me, help me out on that. I believe it was 2015. Seth Rollins was facing Kane in a house show. He went for a sunset powerbomb through a table. His knee buckled. We didn't see him for a year. Okay? But then you had a situation where Seth Rollins hurt himself again going into WrestleMania. Help me out, guys. I want to say WrestleMania. Oh, my goodness. 30. Oh, I'm drawing a blank here. 33. 33. Thank you, Vinny. And he went down for a couple of months, but he was able to make it back in time for WrestleMania. Now, the only way that this storyline with the Seth Rollins team, with Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, the only way this goes away completely, the only way this gets disintegrated is if Seth Rollins legit really, really made himself into a, like, just injured completely. If he's out like he was from WrestleMania 32 to 33, where he missed WrestleMania 32, thank you, Conrad, they're going to have to alter storylines here in a major, major way. But if he's only out for a couple of months, maybe they can hold on. Maybe he can hold on to the Money in the Bank. Maybe he can hold on and just be a person that comes to ringside with the team so that the storyline can continue. That remains to be seen. However, Seth Rollins seemed to be legitimately injured at Saturday night's main event. Hopefully it's not serious, but I believe he tweaked his knee. If it's just a tweak, maybe everything's going to be all right. However, there is a possibility that he went down. I hope that is not the case. I hope that is not the case. Deanna, in agreement with me, I'm with you, saying Big Jim for champ. No question about that. The only video we like, he says Seth is a pro for the Audible. 100%. I think he took that BFT on the fly. And I think also that Seth Rollins was supposed to win that match, and then LA Knight won on the fly. That's just my humble opinion. Let me know if you guys agree. Seth has a terrible knee history, ACL 10 years ago. We were just talking about that, Vinny. I agree with you completely. Clown says, I don't think it would be a part of the story you want. Seth healthy at the end for the threat of cashing it. 100%, which is why I'm very concerned that he is hurt, Clown. Deanna says Seth may have tweaked it with his landing. I hope it's just a tweak, Deanna. I hope it's just a tweak. Vinny reminded me the major injury of 2015 on a house show. We agree on that. It was definitely against Kane in a table match or in a table spot. WrestleMania 33 is when he came back. Conrad reminded me that WrestleMania 32 is when he went out, and that's the WrestleMania he missed. Clown13Z4 Tweezy said if he is injured, depending on how long he is out, so many things are up in the air. Braun, Brunson, Paul, Roman, Punk, the briefcase. Unbelievable. The ramifications if Seth Rollins is out for a significant amount of time. The only Vinny we like. So do we just throw away Roman versus Punk match now? Need something big for SummerSlam. This throws plans up big. If he's out significantly, hopefully it's not as bad as we thought. But for any of y'all who saw the show, I know we were online with Conrad and Derek. Make sure you check out Conrad, Derek, Everything Pro Wrestling. We just did a major AEW review show. But if you were watching Saturday Night's Main Event while watching EPW, you saw that Seth Rollins was down for a significant amount of time. It looked like there was a problem. Vinny says the alteration to that main event type match at SummerSlam could be Roman versus Braun. That does not have the same luster, but I'm hoping that, maybe that's the case. Deanna says, I think it was changed on the fly. I do too, 100%. Vinny says, Roman versus Braun would make sense at SummerSlam if they want to continue the story. But then again, Vinny, I think you, Deanna, and Clown are in lockstep. But then what happens to the briefcase? So that's a big thing. But LA Knight got a victory. Was he scheduled to get the victory all along? I had my doubts. But LA Knight with the biggest victory, can we say yes or no? Can we say that LA Knight defeating Seth Rollins on Saturday Night's Main Event is the biggest victory of his career? Even bigger than him winning United States Championship? I think so. Which leads us to our main event. Gunther versus Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship. I went on record on Clash of the Podcast. Make sure you check out me and Conrad, Clash of the Podcast, each and every Monday night, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. The late Gratz let us know that Saturday night's main event was sold out, 11,000 strong in the arena. Well, that's certainly not the case for Evolution, because when you see that arena tomorrow night, it's going to look a lot different. with a lot less seats open. They're probably going to black out the top of the arena so you can't see, but I'm telling you, a lot of seats are going to be empty tomorrow night. I said that Goldberg was going to win this match. I do not have any faith in Triple H as a booker. I don't have any faith in Triple H as a decision maker. I said that I thought that Goldberg was going to win this match simply off the strength of Triple H not being someone that I believe makes correct decisions with that pen in his hand. That being said, Gunther is still the World Heavyweight Champion. Late on this Saturday night, I want to take you guys down a lot of legitimate possible scenarios. Now, yes, Gunther defeated Goldberg. I was wrong. I'm very happy I was wrong. Goldberg is not the World Heavyweight Champion. I wish him well in his retirement. God bless. I have some major issues with Goldberg, from ending Bret Hart's career to almost breaking The Undertaker's neck. But I'll be nice and just say I wish Goldberg a happy and healthy retirement. But my question to you guys is, was Goldberg originally supposed to win? My question to you guys is, was my prediction that Goldberg defeats Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship not really going to happen? Or was there a diversion? Or was there an alteration? Or was there a change due to outside circumstances? Here's my theory. Now, I don't mind taking an L. I was wrong. Goldberg did not win the World Heavyweight Championship. I predicted Goldberg would win the title and that Seth would cash in the Money in the Bank. If Seth got injured, that would mean that Seth would not be able to cash in Money in the Bank. And that would mean that if Goldberg were scheduled to win, then that would mean that Goldberg would be champion at least until Monday night. Is it possible? Is it possible that Goldberg, now just take this ride with me. Is it possible that Goldberg was scheduled to win the World Heavyweight Championship in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia? Is it possible that once again, Triple H was going to make a ridiculous decision and have Bill Goldberg defeat Gunther in his hometown, and then have Seth Rollins cash in the Money in the Bank? I think it's possible. Let me tell you why I think it's possible. I want you guys to acknowledge a very big elephant in the room. Are you guys ready? Here we go. Do you guys realize that Gunther versus Goldberg lasted 14 minutes and 19 seconds? I'm going to say that again. Goldberg, look at my face, look at me. Goldberg just wrestled a 14-minute match. When was the last time Goldberg wrestled a 14-minute match? When was the last time Goldberg wrestled a 4-minute match? Goldberg and Gunther just went 14 minutes. 14 minutes. BJ, Deanna, Clown, Conrad, Delayed Grats. 14 minutes. Goldberg. So my thing is this. I think that Goldberg and Gunther had to alter plans. I think Triple H, Paul Levesque had to alter plans, and I think they changed the finish. Now, I'll never be able to prove that. And I have to be wrong about this one because Goldberg is not the world champion. But I'm going to tell you something. I don't know the last time Goldberg has wrestled 14 minutes. I don't know if Goldberg has ever wrestled 14 minutes other than Kevin Nash at Starrcade in 1998. I don't remember Goldberg wrestling no 14-minute match. And to answer Clown's question, William Regal on Nitro, that was about 8 or 9 minutes. Conrad or somebody else help me out. Maybe less. Maybe less. That's my theory. You can say anything you want. Oh, who knows, who knows, who knows. 14 minutes and 19 seconds. And this is not Goldberg in his prime at the age of 31 in 1998. This is not Goldberg at 50 wrestling Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. This is Goldberg at, I'm not even ashamed. I'm pulling out my phone. I'm pulling out my phone because I want to be accurate about this. I'm pulling out my phone. I'm pulling out my phone right now because I want to look up 58 years old. 58-year-old Goldberg. A young Goldberg didn't go 14 minutes. That's what she said, by the way. A young Goldberg didn't go 14 minutes. And a 58-year-old Goldberg went 14 minutes? Oh, no. You can't convince me that was part of the plan, baby. You can't convince me of that. But that's what happened. I personally think that the match was probably going to go 7 or 8 minutes, and then Seth would cash in, and there would be a celebration for Seth. But I'll never be able to prove that. Let's check the chat and see what they think. Deanna says, I think it was changed on the fly. I appreciate you, girl. I do. I'm telling you. Vinny says Roman versus Braun would make. Oh, we talked about that earlier. BJ, oh, wow. BJ says that Sean Ross Sapp reports that Seth Rollins' injury is being reported as legit. Oh, my goodness. Conrad, what did I say? Did I say Gunther or did I say Seth? I meant Gunther. I think I've been saying it. Thank you, brother. Delayed Grat says, I think Seth injury changed the plan and Gunther was not supposed to. Delayed Grat, you're right there with me, bro. Legit, yes. Conrad says legit. Deanna says, I did think we would get a cash in until Seth got hurt. BJ says, I think there was a change due to Seth. Deanna says, Hubs, I think Goldberg was going to win until the change. Clown says, it would be great if Seth found out Goldberg was going to win and he wouldn't cash in and went into business for himself and got injured, quote unquote injured, to change plans for Goldberg refusing to lose the bray. Oh, my God. That is a theory and a half. Wow. I hear you, Clown. Deanna says, world record for Goldberg, LOL. 14 minutes, Deanna. 14 minutes. BJ says, had 3 commercial breaks. 3 commercial breaks on NBC. 14 minutes. Clown says, how long did we said that before. I think it was about 6 to 8 minutes. I think that match was. Deanna says it would make sense even though considering the length of time. Exactly. Delayed Grad says, I'm with you, Hubs. They called an audible. Goldberg lost and they cut him off while making his goodbye speech. Exactly. BJ says, according to Cage Match 9/20/103, Goldberg versus Triple H went 14 minutes and 42 seconds. Well, okay. BJ, I appreciate you. And then he says, next closest was Goldberg versus Scott Steiner in 2013 minutes and 51. Okay. So BJ also says that's the longest match closest. Okay. So it wasn't the longest, but it was close. It was close. But listen, guys, I'm not going to keep you guys long. All I can say is that BJ says tonight's match has been clocked at 14:23. I got it at 14:19. You got it at 14:23. Oh, my. Either way, Goldberg at 58 ain't wrestling no 14 minutes and 23 seconds, 14 minutes, 19 seconds, 13 minutes, 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 9 minutes. This match was going 7 minutes, and y'all know it. Y'all know it. Y'all know this match was going 7 minutes, and that was it. So if Goldberg was meant to win this match, or excuse me, if Goldberg was meant to lose this match would have came out at 9:50. Tell me I'm wrong. But I'll never be able to prove it. I'll never be able to prove it. So I guess I was wrong. Goldberg didn't win the title. But let's, on a serious note, hope that Seth Rollins is okay, because if he is hurt for real, that changes a lot. I mean, again, what do you do with the briefcase? I mean, forget Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. That's bad enough. I mean, they deserve better too. But what happens with the briefcase? So that's the deal, y'all. LA Knight defeats Seth. Solo Sikoa retains the United States Championship against Big Jim. Randy Orton defeats Drew McIntyre. Jelly Roll gets kicked in the face, which is going to lead to a tag team match between Randy and Jelly Roll versus Drew and Logan. And Gunther defeats Goldberg in 14 minutes and 19 seconds. 14 minutes, 19 seconds. Listen, guys, Clash of the Podcast, Monday night. Make sure you check out Evolution tomorrow, just for the fact, not because I'm promoting Evolution. Check it out to make sure y'all see them empty seats, man. I bet you the lights are real, real low on the upper deck tomorrow night. But y'all know what it is, man. Listen, I appreciate you guys so much. God bless each and every one of you. Thanks for rocking with us all weekend. On behalf of myself, my tag team partner, Conrad Cushman on Clash of the Podcast, my guy Derek, all my people, all of you guys, man. As always, I shout everybody out. Deanna, the only Vinny we like, BJ, Delayed Grats, Clown13Z, who else is it? Delayed Grats is in here, I think I said. Yes, the list goes on and on and on. I appreciate you guys so very, very much. Conrad, of course, my friends, my family, I appreciate y'all for being here. It's been a blessing. Look forward to getting with you guys on Monday night. Until then, have a blessed evening. Always remember, as always, I'm never going to leave y'all without saying this, man. God bless, be encouraged, evil never prevails. We'll see you Monday night. Later.